Good morning students, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Friends, we are reading class 7th geography, wherein we are reading chapter number 3, our changing earth. Dear students, you can see on our earth crust different landscapes are there. These landscapes are formed, shaped and reshaped by different natural processes. Sometimes these natural processes are internal, and sometimes these natural processes which are making these changes are on the earth crust. So friends, these natural processes which are changing, shaping and reshaping the landscapes on the earth crust can be broadly divided into two categories: internal forces and external forces. On and under our earth crust, suppose this is our earth. Inside the earth crust, the magma, molten material magma, is doing a circular motion every time. It is moving slowly it is moving inside, and just because of the movement of this magma inside the earth crust, the tectonic plates, crust plates or lithospheric plates, you can see. Do you know the tectonic plates? Tectonic plates, these are the rocky plates which are floating over this magma, and our earth crust, our lithosphere, is sitting on that. It fixed on that. So there are lots of tectonic plates which are floating on this magma. These tectonic plates get disturbed, and just because of the disturbance of these plates, sometimes earthquakes are happening. Vibrations are happening on the earth crust, and sometimes just because of the high pressure of magma, it cracks and breaks out. It makes a vent, it makes a crack in the lithosphere, and the magma starts to come up on the earth crust, which is called volcano. So just because of these kind of internal forces, either volcanic eruption is happening or earthquakes are happening. And just because of these earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, or slow and gradual movement of tectonic plates, lots of landscapes on the earth crust are formed. They are getting shaped or reshaped. They are changing continuously. So friends, our earth is not static. Our lithosphere is not static. The landscape which you see or look around you, the mountains, the waterfalls, floodplains, meanders, river deltas, oxbow lakes, these kind of landscapes, they are not static, they are not fixed. Sometimes slowly, due to some natural processes like wind blowing, rivers flowing, the water flowing in the rivers, erosional and weathering processes on the earth crust, these landforms are shaping and reshaping and reshaping. So you can say the earth is not static, it is continuously changing. First of all, let us discuss about internal forces. So after studying this circular motion of magma and disturbance in tectonic plate, you would have better understanding that because of this magma movement, two types of things happens. Earthquakes are happening. What are earthquakes? Earthquakes means vibration on the crust. So these kind of vibrations, how these kind of vibrations are creating, and just because of the earthquake, if the earthquake is of high scale, of high intensity, it may cause lots of destruction on the earth crust. So the place, the epicenter where the earthquakes has created, it caused lots of destruction over there. So let us discuss about earthquake and then we will again move to the volcano. Suppose these are the tectonic plates under our lithosphere. This is our lithosphere, or you can say earth crust. This is our crust. And this earth crust is sitting or lying on these tectonic plates. These tectonic plates, just because of the movement of the lava under this, the lava is moving under this. Sometimes these plates get disturbed and they may slide, they may do convergent movement like this, or maybe they do divergent movement like this. Because of the sliding of these plates, sometimes vibrations creates, sometimes vibration creates. Suppose this is the point. This is the point where the plates are sliding. Either they are converging or they are diverging. Because of this diversion, these kind of waves will create. And the point where this divergent or convergent movement is happening, or where these vibrations are creating, that is known as focus point. Focus point. The place on the earth crust just perpendicular to this focus, that is called as epicenter. Epicenter. So friend, these waves start to move on the earth crust. On the epicenter, the intensity of the vibration or the earthquake is very high. And these waves move in a circular motion outwards. And the intensity of these waves sometimes are also called seismic waves. So the maximum intensity of earthquake is at epicenter. And epicenter is the perpendicular place on the earth crust to the focus. Suppose this is the focus where the disturbances happen or where these vibrations created. So the perpendicular to this point will be known as epicenter. The intensity of the waves will reduce slowly and slowly. So the most destruction will be caused near and around this epicenter. As the waves will move away, the intensity and the destruction will reduce. So this is the kind of natural process which is happening on the earth crust just because of the disturbance inside the earth crust. That's why I called you that this is called internal force, or sometimes it is also called endogenic forces. Endogenic forces. Now, just because of this kind of earthquake, sometimes landslide happen. Huge stones are rolling down just because of the vibration on the earth. Sometimes due to some convergent and divergent movement in the tectonic plate, the earth crust will crack down and there is a gap between it. And sometimes when just because of these kind of internal movement, when the earth move vertically, or the one portion of the earth is subsided, or it is vertically slided down, may cause the formation of block mountains also. So these are some endogenic forces or the endogenic disturbance which are causing the formation of shape or reshaping the already existing landscapes on the earth. Let's move to another kind of endogenic force. Students, inside our earth, the magma is, as I told you, the magma is rotating like this. And in our first chapter, we have learnt continental crust, and oceanic crust. The thickness of the continental crust is 35 km. So it is very thick. But the oceanic crust is 5 to 7 km thick. So it is comparatively, the oceanic crust is very thin. So basically what happened, just because of the circulation of this magma inside the earth, high pressure and low pressure built up. And just because of the high pressure in the oceanic crust, it breaks this oceanic crust and it starts to come out on the earth crust. Let me show here. Suppose this is continental crust, which is very thick, 35 km. So magma is lying here it is very down, it is deep, very deeper side in here in the continental, so it cannot come out on the continental crust because it is very thick. But in oceanic crust it is not very much thick, just 5 km thick. Sometimes what happens when the pressure creates inside this magma cracks this, breaks out this oceanic crust and make a vent or a way to come out on the earth crust. So this kind of coming out of the magma due to high pressure and breaking this oceanic crust, this is called as volcanic eruption. In this volcanic eruption, the magma will start to come up on the earth crust and to spread near and about the opening, and it will finally it will take a shape of a mountain. Finally it will take the shape of a mountain like this. It will take a shape of a mountain like this. Okay, so this mountain which is formed, this landscape, this is a mountain, and just because this is formed because of the volcanic eruption, so we call this kind of mountain as volcanic mountain. Volcanic mountain. So this is also a landscape. And how this landscape is formed? This landscape, or you can say this volcanic mountain, is formed on the earth crust just because of the coming of the magma. Now let us understand some terms in this, because sometimes the questions are asked about the volcanic, draw a diagram on the volcano and all that. So let us listen some terminology in that. This is the way from where the magma is coming out, okay? And this is the place where the pressure was built up. Now this pressure chamber from where the magma is coming out, this is known as magma chamber. This is known as magma chamber. Magma chamber. So this is magma chamber from where the magma is coming, and this route, this way or this tube-like structure from where the magma is coming out, this is called as vent. This is called as vent, or sometimes it is also called duct. Okay, so this is the duct through which magma is coming out. And now on the top of this volcanic mountain, you can say this kind of funnel shaped structure is formed, like a funnel shaped structure is formed. And this funnel shaped structure is called crater. This is called as crater. So I think that, student, you are able to understand now what is the mechanism of volcanic mountains, how the volcanic mountains are formed. Today we have studied two things: earthquakes and volcanic eruption, and both of these are internal forces or endogenic forces because of which landscapes are getting formed, shaped or reshaped on the earth crust. Third and last is landslide. Landslides. Sometimes due to these kind of convergent and divergent movements, if some sudden movement is happening. So today we have studied endogenic forces, where we studied about volcanic mountains, we studied about earthquake and their mechanism, seismic waves. Now one important question is, how do we measure seismic waves, or how do we measure the intensity of earthquake? So the seismic waves are measured by seismographer, and the intensity of earthquake is measured by Richter scale, R-I-C-H-T-E-R, Richter scale. And this Richter machine was introduced by John F. Richter. He was an engineer in 1935. So this is all about today's video. In next video, we will study about exogenic forces, where we will learn about different shapes formed by rivers, seas and wind. See you friends. Goodbye.